Rishi Sunak announces today that within 10 to 12 weeks, flights will be taking off with migrants bound for Rwanda. And he points out that 9 people have died crossing the channel this year. And that, of course, in his mind, doesn't act as a deterrent. Only Rwanda acts as a deterrent. I would have thought the possibility of death in the channel is a greater deterrent than the idea of being sent to an African country where presumably people will not be held under lock and key because they will have been processed and then be allowed to stay and leave and go back over the channel. The idea that this deterrent is a nonsense. And we're now told that the people who are objecting to this law in the House of Lords are patronising and are offering comments which border on racism, the Deputy Foreign Secretary has said. The House of Lords has been trying to modify the Rwanda bill, but so far, nothing that they propose is acceptable to the Commons, and Andrew Mitchell has called upon the House of Lords to step aside and accept the diktat of the government's bill. There's been a great deal of ping-pong between the House of Commons and the House of Lords, and the bill has been approved by the House of Commons on several occasions, most recently last Wednesday, and then there were further amendments by the House of Lords. But it's I think it's not possible to see this as a long-term solution, partly because the Labour Party is against it and the Labour Party is almost certain to be the next party in power, and partly because so far the determination of the British government to pursue this law is so clear that it should have acted in itself as a deterrent to migrants coming here. Anybody who comes here at the moment is kept in legal limbo. Is that not deterrent enough? No. Actually, the number of boats crossing the channel this year has increased from this time last year. And that's not just because the weather has got better. The weather actually has been worse. Undoubtedly, the number of boats crossing the channel will get greater as this year goes on, because I don't think the Rwanda bill, the Rwanda law, let's call it, let's anticipate it, let's be proleptic about this, let's assume it's already passed. I don't believe it will act as a deterrent. And the proof will be in the pudding, won't it? If the numbers go down, then Rishi Sunak's law has worked, but I don't believe that will be the case. More than that, I equally don't believe that Rwanda is a safe country and that Rwanda has the ability to take on our responsibility. And should Rwanda fall foul of a military coup or a takeover or a war, what happens to the people that we have sent to Rwanda, where we have delegated our duty and our responsibility? They're still our responsibility at that point. Do we rescue them? Do we take them back? How do we take them back? We don't seem to be very good at that rescue operation, as we demonstrated quite clearly in Afghanistan. Are we ready? Are we poised to do that? Because Rwanda doesn't seem to me to be the safest country in Africa. Yes, I think we should be supporting Rwanda. I think we should be giving Rwanda aid and approval and encouragement. But getting Rwanda to do our dirty work is not part of that process. And certainly not part of that process when we can't be sure that Rwanda has a secure and a safe future. I think the Rwanda bill and Rishi Sunak's flying his flag on the Rwanda issue is an act of supreme folly and madness.